The term censorship comes from the Latin censere, or to give one's opinion. The Roman censors were magistrates who took the census count and served as assessors and inspectors of moral conduct. Today, in the United States, that duty belongs to we, the people. Our government has clearly stated, through the banner of our Constitution, that no laws restricting our freedom of religion, speech, press, the right to assemble, or our right to petition shall be made. Working within these civil liberties, continued attempts to censor words, thoughts, and opinions remain constant. It is the duality of the right to promote the debate of what is to be censored and by whom. Now for a little bit of history. John Adams was one of the first to lead the way to censorship when he challenged his critics for stating false information about him. As a result, slander became illegal. Moving forward, a fun fact for trivia lovers out there, the longest standing ban on a book was held by Fanny Hill, Memoirs of a Prostitute. I can't do a presentation on censorship without mentioning Anthony Comstock. He was known as the Mad Censor of New York. He lobbied for laws that prohibited the transportation of materials that he deemed quote-unquote lewd through the mail system. This man even went as far as to make the distribution of the anatomy book illegal. Another thing that Comstock was known for was the warrantless searches of the mail for this material. In addition to the mail, he also lobbied for the removal of ludicrous acts in print in general, and he would go as far as to have people arrested. Above and beyond just arresting people, he was known to have bragged about people committing suicide because of his war on these lewd printings. But what does this mean for the schools? When a decision needs to be made on whether or not a First Amendment right was violated in the school systems, we look to the judicial branch of our government system to make a legal ruling on the matter. The first case I'd like to look at involves Pickering versus the Board of Education. Pickering involved a township high school teacher who was dismissed after writing a letter to a local newspaper which criticized how the Township Board of Education and the district superintendent had handled past proposals to raise new revenue for schools. The claim that his writing the letter was protected by the First Amendment. This was rejected by the Board of Education. He appealed the Board of Education's actions of his dismissal to the Circuit Court, which in then turn went all the way up to the Supreme Court of Illinois, which both affirmed his dismissal. The Supreme Court of the United States agreed the teacher's First Amendment right to free speech were violated and reversed the decision of the Illinois Supreme Court. The next case is the Tinker versus Des Moines. I'm not going to go into this one too in-depthly, considering how much time we've already spent on this case. But I have to mention that this was monumental in affirming that students' freedom of speech in schools is protected under the First Amendment. 1988, the Hazelwood School District versus the Colmere students was a case that was started when a school newspaper, or students started a school newspaper as part of their journalism class. They wanted to publish stories about teen pregnancy and divorce. The principal deemed these stories unfit for school-wide release. The students took the issues to court. The Supreme Court ruled against the girls. They claimed that a school newspaper was not a public forum in which anyone can voice an opinion. The court stated, but the paper was rather a supervised learning experience for students interested in journalism. Educators do not offend the First Amendment by exercising editorial control over style and content of a student's speech in school-sponsored expressive activities. So why should I be pro-censorship? Everything about me says that I need to follow my First Amendment rights and speak my heart. Well, maybe censorship might be a good thing. Some material may in fact be just too complex or just too adult for some younger students to understand and take into context properly. To give you an idea of the sort of thing that are challenged to be removed from the schools, here is a list of some of the types of materials that have been asked to be removed from schools, and just the volume of which the materials have been requested to be removed from. Here's a quick look at 5 of the top titles that have actually been motioned to be removed from schools. Not all of them have successfully been removed, but these are the top 5 that had been requested to be removed. We've already taken a look at some of the reasons why people would believe censorship is a wonderful, positive thing to be in school systems. However, there are those who feel that censorship infringes on the freedom of speech, which is considered an integral American value, as protected by the First Amendment to the United States of the Constitution. In addition, the support from the Supreme Court, which ruled that students and teachers don't shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate. Thank you, Tinker versus Des Moines, for that one. So, censorship. Is it the greatest menace to the freedom of speech? It's time for you to decide. And finally, here are some remaining questions I am still wondering about regarding censorship. If you are looking for more information on censorship in the public education school system, I have attached an extensive list of references to my issue briefing that I am sending along with this PowerPoint. I would like to thank you all for viewing my presentation, even though we are not in class, and like to wish you luck as we move forward with our position statements. Thank you again!